So a lot of the early Keystones were fairly rough and tumble in the main. In The Riot with Fatty Arbuckle, rather than sitting down and talking things over with a cup of tea, they decide to lob bricks at each other, as you do. Down the bowling alley with Ford Sterling, yeah, come on, let's just lob a few bowling balls at each other. I find that's always a good way to win an argument. But don't be fooled into thinking it was all rough and tumble in the early Keystone days. Here's a scene made around the same period in July 1913. This is called Just Kids, 9 years before our gang came on the scene. At the end of 1913, Sennett started a kids' series all about Little Billy, and that starred Paul Jacobs. Here's Little Billy. The film is called Little Billy's Triumph. It was made in the last week of December 1913. The same week that was being made, this film was being shot. It's One in a Cupboard. And it really helps to appreciate these films when you see them in good condition like this. This was directed by Mabel Normand. It's beautifully done, and there's an air of sophistication in a great many of these early Keystones. Sennett was always pushing the boundaries all the time. And they were releasing about 2 or 3 one-reelers every week at the moment. So this is at the end of December 1913. The week after this Mabel Normand film was made, they were making this film. This is Double Crossed with Ford Sterling. Yeah. Yes, that is Max Swain on the left. Now, at the same time they were making this film, Double Crossed, downtown in LA, another unit was shooting this film. The gentleman in the top hat on the left is Charlie Chaplin, and this is his very first film.
In late 1913, Sennett had seen Charlie Chaplin in the Fred Carno troupe and signed him for the studio, and it took Chaplin a few weeks and made a couple films. About a month into his stint, he developed this little Tramp character. We're standing in this intersection of Main and Westminster in Venice, California, where in January of the year 1914, Charlie Chaplin, Henry Learman, and a small crew came to shoot a quick film in front of the kid auto races that were going on. Chaplin had only been at Keystone for a few weeks. He'd made a film called Making a Living, playing a different kind of top-hatted character. He had just started making Mabel's Strange Predicament and starting to develop a Tramp character, but it was this film, filmed right here, that became the first film released with Chaplin's famous Tramp running around on these streets in and out of the kiddie auto cars with people standing on the sidelines unaware that they were watching history being made. So this is where it all started.
With the Fred Kano Company, Chaplin had been used to preparation and rehearsal, and he struggled at the start to adapt to the improv style of the Sennett Studios. He preferred to get laughs from the nuance of his performances. However, Sennett was quick to spot the potential in Chaplin and allowed him after a very short time to plan and direct his own films. Chaplin learnt quickly and flourished in the Sennett studio environment, and during the 12 months he was there, he made 36 films. And by the end of his first and only year at Keystone, Chaplin had become the most popular comedian in the world. It's easy to take for granted these facts, but if you think about the impact that Chaplin must have had in just 12 months, it's quite amazing. And it's only recently that we've been able to understand why he had such an impact, because of the restoration work that the various archives have done to make his Keystone films available once again. Now we can analyse them, now we can appreciate them. You can see so much of the little bits of business that he was doing, the nuances of his performance. For example, this film we're just seeing now, the film Johnny. This is the new version on the BFI release. And this is the version that was available on DVD up until then. And this is quite good compared to some. It looks like someone's dropped a pile of all over the print. So well done to the archives for getting that together, because these films really are a treat. The gentleman in the middle with the tie is Charles Parrott, aka Charlie Chase. Okay, now what you're seeing here is Chaplin in the park in a film called Recreation. Now this is Echo Park, and Echo Park is literally just a couple of blocks down the road from the Sennett Studios, and because it was local and cheap, it was used a great deal in the early Sennett films. For example, at Echo Park they were going to be draining the lake, and that's when they filmed Muddy Romance with Ford and Mabel. Just built a story around the fact that there was going to be a drained lake with a load of mud. It was a beautiful park in those days. In fact, the Sennett studio was banned from using it from about 1925 because they kept messing it up. And it went downhill after that as well. It's recently been renovated. This is what it looks like now. Over to me again in LA. Hello, me. Okay, so here we are in Echo Park, which was a favourite location where they did all their filming. It's about a mile away from the studios, and here's the bridge, but it's not the bridge. This is another bridge that they put in. I think it's about the second or third bridge they've put in since 1912. But yeah, get a good idea of the park. It's actually been renovated in the last couple of years, so it looks much better than it did. So, with the huge success of Chaplin, Mack Sennett Studios were really on the up.